7 months ago, I made my first video about racing on Zwift. I rode a Zwift race every day with the hope of winning one. During that challenge, I realized I simply was not good enough to win a race at that point. So with 3 months of training, including an altitude camp in Andorra, I tried it again in July. And that's when I hit the jackpot. That's when I won my first Zwift race. Now, my training has gone a bit downhill since then, to the point that I spent 45 days off the bike. But in the last 3 weeks, I spent 6 days out of 7 to try to get back to my previous form. That training video should come out in a couple of days. But today, I woke up and I had a very stupid idea. I thought, why not ride 5 Zwift races in a single day? And that's how this video was born. Quick reminder before we begin, I am not a climber. For me, it's all about survival and trying to beat everybody in the sprint at the end. But anyway, on to our first race. That one happened this morning at 10:45 and was 1 lap of the countryside tour on Zwift. In total, 16 kilometers including the Temple KOM climb in the second half of the race. That climb is 2.5 kilometers at 3.6%, but in reality, it's harder than that. Anyway, let the odds be ever in our favor. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Race 1 started like most Zwift races, riding above threshold to make it into the first move and then try to recover in the wheels. Problem was, I wasn't recovering in the wheels. Every few hundred meters, I was slightly off the back, having to push more watts to return, to the point that I already spent my biggies before the climb even started. And that is when I made the wrong move. I decided to try to close a gap, and I failed doing so and got countered. That is when I lost the first group. And then the climb still had to start. But I kept putting out solid power because I wanted to keep that 12th position at all costs. With a gap of over 1 minute on the next rider, a Welshman, I thought I was safe. And then suddenly, he was 30 seconds behind. With 4 kilometers left, only 10 seconds behind me, and that's when I made the decision to wait. To recover as much energy as possible for the sprint.
There we go, 4th in the unofficial results. Pretty happy with that. But damn, that was a hard climb.
Unfortunately for past Benji, it would not be the last climb of the day because we have 4 more races to come. But 4th in our first race isn't exactly a bad result, and I'm pretty happy about beating the Welshman in the sprint at the end. Before we jump into race 2, from the 29th of October, I will be competing in the Virtu Slow for Endurance Zwift League. 6 races across 6 weeks, every Sunday at 6 PM CET. For me, it's going to be quite a challenge because the races are between roughly 42 and 58 kilometers long, so that's quite a lot more than I'm used to, but I'd like to give it a try. If you're into Zwift racing yourself, definitely check out the link in the description. You've got 5 more days to sign up if you want to race against me. Anyway, back to racing. Race 2 was 1 lap of the Glasgow Crit Circuit, so only 3.3 kilometers with a single classified obstacle, the KICKR.
It's been about 40 minutes since our first race, and the next one is about to start, so let's see if I survive. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Turns out only 2 Category D riders signed up for this race, so it was going to be a 1v1 between me and this Danish man.
I'm riding like an absolute snake in his wheel. I'm such a douchebag.
And then, like the snake I am, I attacked him.
Yes! Let's be honest, that was the least competitive race I've ever done on Zwift, but a win is a win.
Turns out that I beat a 70-plus-year-old who was riding at zone 2 heart rate, so I probably shouldn't be bragging too much. Respect to the man, to be fair, but a win is a win. That being said, I'd classify this one under a Mickey Mouse victory. Race 3 was on paper the hardest race of the day. 16.2 kilometers with 3 punchy hills on the last 4 kilometers. Libby Hill, 600 meters at 6%, 23rd Street, 270 meters at 7%, and the unclassified Governor Street, 1.3 kilometers at 3.6% towards the finish line.
Coming back from a lunch break of 2 hours, we are ready for the next race. We'll start in 1 minute. Not looking forward to it. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
This was one of those races where all categories started at once, so I quickly lost track of all the Category D riders. And I straight up missed the split, but when I saw the opportunity to create a second group, I jumped on it. But my own group rode so fast I ended up in Group 3.
Three riders are about to catch up with us. Let's hope I can make the difference on the climb.
This climb was too much for me. I absolutely perished. But then the tide turned. And then the final climb started.
No! I don't think I've ever gone this deep in a Zwift race.
Despite the suffering, I actually really enjoyed that race. On Libby Hill, I completely perished, but on 23rd Street and Governor Street, I stood my ground and even passed a few people. I am really happy about that.
On to the second last race of the day. We've got a short one now. I think it's 6.9 kilometers in total. Relatively flat, so let's hope I survive, but I gotta be honest, the legs are feeling it already.
So as you just heard me say, I went into this race thinking it was completely flat for a sprint or something, but I apparently can't read a profile because that is not the case. This race is not flat. In the middle there's an unclassified climb and there's at least 1 kilometer at 5% in there. Anyway, let's take a look at this race.
3, 2, 1, let's go. One rider is off the front. I'm gonna try and keep myself in group 2.
But when the road started going uphill, I simply could not follow. I tried to follow any rider I could, but they were simply better climbers. Eventually, I ended up alone and rolled over the line in 9th.
Why am I doing this to myself? Anyway, that's our 4th race. Was a shorter one, but still a deadly one.
Anyway, on to our final race of the day. 7.3 kilometers with 2 laps of the Mech Isle Loop, so 2 little bumps in the road. But this one came very fast after the last one.
As you can see, I'm still sweating from the last race, because that race was 10 minutes ago. Now, the next race starts in 13 minutes, so a limited time to recover, then I need to go back at it. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
A perfect start because I made it into Group 1. But even on the flat, I was in so much pain just following the tempo. And then the hill arrived.
No! No! I guess that's where my limit lies. 5 races. I am completely done.
Honestly, I had given up. But then I saw a rider 1 minute and 40 seconds ahead of me. And the time was going down. So I took every bit of energy I still had left and started chasing.
1 minute. I can maybe catch this guy. no! Can't believe it. 2 bloody seconds. And I cracked. Here it is, the finish line. I am so done for today. I'm going to shower and I'm gonna go straight to bed.
So that's a lie, because I basically did an all-nighter to get this video out today. Anyway, that race was an absolute roller coaster. But in the end, I have finally completed this challenge. 5 Zwift races in a single day. Was it a good idea? Probably not, but I'm happy I did it. But let's take a look at the stats. What is my power drop-off between races because of fatigue? Taking a closer look at my power data, I can't really conclude much from this, except that the fatigue really hit my shorter efforts in the 4th and 5th race. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the coming days for my next video. Goodbye.